1995, I little realized that within 10-12 years, we would beat United States and Britain in telephones. We have today 500 million telephones. Every month we are adding more telephones. In fact, more than double the number of telephones we had in 1995 in the whole country. Every single month we are adding today. Technology has given unparalleled opportunity. In some ways, I do like to believe that Indian telephones are actually better than American telephones. After all, we have technologically leapfrogged, not because we are greater, but because we are on a different platform. Therefore, we have that advantage, as you all know. Sometimes if you actually miss out on technology at a certain level, but directly jump into the higher level, it's not a bad thing. So we have this opportunity, as never before. We have an opportunity to bring about changes in the country at a relatively modest cost, but spectacular changes are possible. I have followed with enormous admiration and great interest the debate in the United States on healthcare in the past 1 year. Right now I've been reading a book called Landmark on healthcare, all about this healthcare legislation in this country, detailed blow-by-blow account of what happened, as well as the impact of it in terms of real outcomes. So I'm deeply interested in this. In the United States, this country spends something like $7,500 per capita per annum on healthcare, the highest amount in human history for any country. Even then, the United States is only 24th in the world in terms of healthcare outcomes. In terms of what is called disability-adjusted life years, the US is only 24th in the world. Countries who spend only half of it or 1/3 of it, Britain, Australia, Germany, Japan, France, Canada, they are higher in terms of disability-adjusted life years, in terms of real healthcare outcomes. It's not that America is bad, it's that America is very costly. It's that America has reached a certain level where any improvements are going to be incredibly difficult. It requires disproportionately vast resources. Because America wants the best. America is willing to spend for one week's hospitalization, in some cases, $1 million US. I don't think it's an exaggeration in some cases. In some ways, India is more privileged. We can actually achieve huge outcomes, roughly comparable to the best in the world, at a very modest cost. The reason why we should take politics seriously, and not merely politics as to who wins and who loses, but politics as public policy, politics as outcomes, is so much as possible. If it's not possible, we'll give up. Why should we bother? Take the issue of healthcare in India. I'll just give you a couple of examples of what's possible. Some months ago, a corporate hospital in Hyderabad city very proudly proclaimed that they spent about 20 million rupees of public money on one single day to do 18 cases of cochlear implants for children born with congenital hearing defect. 18 cases, roughly 20 million rupees, single day, world record. But the sad part is, it's a stupid world record. No other country wants that record. That's the reason why no other country had that record. America, I'm sure, could do 250 in one day if they wanted. But they would not allow children to have this birth defect in the first place. That's a smart record. Because every day in Andhra Pradesh alone, 100 children are born with fully preventable congenital birth defects because of a disease called rubella, German measles. When a pregnant mother gets German measles, the child is born with either limbs which are malformed, or blindness, or deafness, or heart disease. Sometimes a combination of these. 100 children a day in Andhra Pradesh alone. 250,000 or more in all of India annually. If you want to prevent these and many other problems in Andhra Pradesh by immunizing every single would-be mother against rubella, and if you take care of all those children who are not getting that vaccine today, all it costs is roughly 20 million rupees. What is 20 million rupees? The daily expenditure of Andhra Pradesh government, a piddly Andhra Pradesh government, whose economy is just 140th of the United States. Our economy is of $100 billion. American economy is roughly about $14 trillion now, $13.5 trillion, right? Still our expenditure per day is 3.12 billion rupees. Per hour is 130 million rupees. Per minute is over 2 million rupees. All it takes is a one-time 9 minutes expenditure to ensure that not a single child in the state is born with any of these congenital abnormalities. Just look at it from this perspective. How much can be done with how little? If we are able to do it, how much of a privilege it is? How wonderful it will be. This is only one example. We could cite 100 examples. The per capita expenditure on healthcare in all of India, public sector and private sector together, is only of the order of about 2,000 rupees today. Maybe 2,200, 2,300 rupees. 7,500 US dollars versus 2,200 rupees or so. After the government expenditure is only 17%, 1/6. Just about under 400 rupees, 350 to 400 rupees. If you spend a little more, maybe another 100 rupees, but wisely, not stupidly, we'll achieve significant outcomes. Huge outcomes. If you have a competition between the excellent private sector in the state and the country and the public sector, and if you have standard norms of costs and delivery of services, if you allow the people to go anywhere they like, very much like the voucher system people talk about in education, that one simple innovation, because we have the healthcare personnel, thanks to all of your technology, is now available. What is done in the US or Australia can be done now in India easily. If only we actually create incentives through public policy. If we spend, I estimated, actually I am the author of the National Health Mission document, I estimated that it would cost roughly for all of India about another 40,000 crores per year. That is just under 1% of the GDP. In fact, it's about 0.6% of the GDP. For each state, for Andhra Pradesh, it will cost probably about another 3,500 to 4,000 crores per annum. But the healthcare outcomes will be roughly comparable to the best in the world. The United States, just to enhance coverage, is talking about how many $1 trillion? So we are very privileged. We are looking at the problems, we are not looking at the solutions. The reason why you should look at politics is not because there is a Kamma or a Reddy, or a Tana or a Ata, or this region or that region. Not because somebody made big and therefore wants to be the next MLA spending 21 crore rupees. Somebody told me